critics feared, well, he might embarrass the royal family. He might ruin the monarchy's mystery.
Oh, no, the Crown's done that. We're 10 days in now, and the former England rugby captain, who's married to the King's niece, Zara, has sparked controversy. It was coming down the tracks at us. It was going to happen. After sharing an embarrassing story about his mother-in-law, Princess Anne, at Zara's birthday party.
So I was dancing with my mother-in-law, and I did a job in front of the mother-in-law, ripped my trousers straight in front of her, and it happened to be that my boxers that I had on at that time said "nibble my nuts."
I love it. I love it.
Bravo.
And as I've turned round, she's gone, "I'd rather not." And I've gone, "Yeah, I'm going."
Well, his campmates loved it. Just a cheeky story, they thought. I have to say, I thought that as well. But was it a royal revelation a bit too crude in some people's minds for public consumption? Joining us now is James Haskell, who's obviously a very good friend of Mike Tindall. They do a podcast together, who obviously thinks it was just a harmless anecdote.
And happens to be...
Well, I've said about 3 times, happens to be my son-in-law, married to my lovely daughter, Chloe. But that will not spare you from the lash of tough questions.
Yeah, but someone who was outraged by what Mike Tindall said is the former BBC royal correspondent Michael Cole. Now, Michael, you were mortified, weren't you, when you heard that?
Mortified, and now I'm absolutely scared stiff. I'm going to talk about Mike Tindall facing his best friend. Have you seen the size of this guy?
Yeah.
Have you seen the size of his muscles? I'm going to have to see him in the green room afterwards. Listen, Mike Tindall's a nice guy. He's a World Cup winning hero. He married the Queen, the late Queen's granddaughter. He's got a lovely family. He's a nice guy. What on earth is he doing, demeaning himself and diminishing the royal family in this show?
Does it diminish the royal family, or does it show that Princess Anne has got a sense of humour?
Well, she won't be welcoming that. She won't be welcoming that little story because she has history herself. If you've got a memory long enough, going back to 1985, it's a royal knockout. She was involved in that. Now, that was a royal live television disaster with absolute knobs on. You'd have thought they'd have learned their lesson. Mike Tindall is in what's he? He should have a sign on his head saying, "I'm only doing this for the money." And, of course, it's a large sum of money.
Well, hang on, you're making a much broader point there. You're basically saying that he shouldn't be, quote, prostituting himself and the royal family's reputation for the sake of an ITV entertainment programme. That's to accept that that's what he's doing. But is he... I mean, I did it last year. I wasn't prostituting myself. I did it because I was curious and I thought it was fun.
You're a television presenter and a brilliant one. That's your job. It's not his job to do that.
Can't be full of television presenters.
No, come on. Money is a good servant, but it's a bad master.
But specifically, you're saying that anecdote went too far, because I would say that it just reinforced what I think we all know about Princess Anne, that she's quite rough and tumble, you know?
Yes, yeah.
Can be quite rudimentary in her language. Remember Naff off?
I think when she meets him next, she'll say one of her favourite phrases, "naff off." Naff off. I don't want to be dragged into this, because she was dragged into It's a Royal Knockout. Now, look, Mike's got form here. This is not his first rodeo. You go back to 2011, the dwarf throwing episode in New Zealand, and then he was photographed quite close to a lady in a bar who wasn't Zara. I mean, he's been around the block a few times. He should know about that. And rather more seriously, yesterday, he made a very pointed political remark. You've heard what he said.
I think we've got it, haven't we?
Well, I think we've got it bleeped.
Have a look.
I think you've got it bleeped.
Oh, no, we don't have it. Well, go on.
He says all politicians are whatever he says they are.
I'll interrupt you, Michael. We have found it, actually.
OK.
Let's have a look.
I just think all politicians... I mean, for them to even have the conversation of just because they were all Boris fans and didn't like how Boris was ousted, that you wouldn't pick the best person for the job. I mean, it just sums politicians up.
And
what's wrong with that?
Well, that's royal commentary, isn't it?
He's not a royal. He's not a royal.
The royal family and politics, absolute big no-no.
But he's not a royal. He doesn't get any money from the royal family.
You know, why can't he... if he wants to do a job, do an honest job.
James? I can feel on my shoulder James Haskell desperate to get in for the case for the defence.
Look, I think, first of all, the fact that you would suggest that Princess Anne's going to react in a certain way. You're guessing. You know, you're by correspondence, by definition, you're guessing. And I think one of the things that people do around the royal family is they guess. They have perceptions. They have what we would like it to be, when actually they are a normal family in a normal way. And I think one of the things in 2022, they are striving to be more open. You've talked, King Charles has talked about his desire to kind of be, almost streamline what they're doing, to show a more of a human side. You saw the mourning, everything that around the Queen's passing, the humanisation of all of the family was what's important.
Don't we? Isn't part of the wonder of the royal family that there is a little bit of mystique? And if you kind of explode that mystique...
But I don't think he has exploded. I think what he's done is he's just drawn a bit of a curtain back, said something very funny. I think it humanises Princess Anne, who has got an amazing sense of humour, and I've seen it firsthand.
Did he ask for her permission before he went on?
I think you have to get all sorts of permission to do that, but I think he's not a working royal. Zara's not working royal. I think he's entitled to do what he wants to do. I don't disagree with his view on politicians, by the way, but I won't repeat it. Well, and I think, actually, it's not King Charles talking about it. It's not Prince William talking about it. It's not those people making those statements. It's somebody so far removed making a comment that has actually got no...
And specifically, I mean, you've been very good friends with Mike for many, many years. You see him all the time. You do this podcast together. You've gone and spent a lot of time with him and Zara, so you know the family well. You've seen Princess Anne quite a lot as well. Without giving any secrets away, is your assessment from all that contact with that branch of the family, including Princess Anne, that would you think she would have been offended by that moment?
No. Not at all. I won't think she would have batted an eyelid. Well, I just don't think it would have even registered. I think that it was a joke. I think it was funny. And what it's done is, now I've heard that, I've gone, wow. Not only did I have the utmost respect for, but do you know what? She's got a sense of humour, and she put somebody back in their place.